Hey friends, it's Wes. So let's talk about a problem that we all have right now. It is monstrous, insanely high ETH gas fees. What is going on? If you're new to crypto, you're probably thinking the same thing that I am telling you in this video. How does anybody afford this? Like there's some new token I want to get into, or I just want to buy ETH because it's just mooning to the stratosphere, or there's an NFT I'm interested in, and I take a look and I'm slapped with these huge fees, and I feel like the whole thing's like a big bait and switch, right? If you're wondering this, if you're new to crypto, if you're surprised by the gas fees, this video is for you, my friends. I'm going to cover what is going on and what you need to do to avoid those stupid high gas fees. You want to know more? Don't miss this video. All that and a bunch more coming right up. Hey guys, it's Wes Spencer back with you again. We're talking about ETH and high ETH gas fees. I have a little break in some of my video series. I just finished an awesome series that's doing really well and got a ton of interest from you guys all on Chia. So go check those out if you haven't seen those yet. And in the middle of some of my videos, I like to cover just newsworthy, notable items, especially for you newbies that are out there. I love this channel because I've got a lot of new people coming into crypto through my channel. I love to be an educator. And one of those things I've had a bunch of friends reach out to me on is, Wes, I'm trying to get into one of these things you're talking about, and I'm just blown away by the ETH prices. Like, what's going on, man? How do I handle all of that? So we're going to cover that today. We're going to dive into it. I'm going to show you some things that will be useful tools for you to track inside of all of this. Now, one thing you could do for me before we jump in, would you hit the subscribe button? If we're just now meeting, if someone shared this with you from a friend of yours and you've been wondering all of this, you're Googling and you came across this video, hit the sub button, hit the like button, definitely hit the bell icon because you'll be notified of all the new stuff I have coming out. And I really try to design it just for you guys. So let's do this. I want to start with how we can get some input and insight into the ETH gas fees. And I guess we should probably also start with this. What the heck are ETH gas fees? Well, right now in our current iteration of Ethereum, we're not to Ethereum 2 yet. And this video is not about Ethereum 2, but what it is about is how do we incentivize miners to process our transactions? See, there's a ton of transactions that all want to go into the blockchain, and there's only so much room for each one in each block. And so the way you and I incentivize is basic supply and demand. If there's not a ton of transactions that need to go into a block, gas fees are going to go lower. There's less competition to go in. If there's a bunch of things going on, like think about right now, it's a whirlwind, like new tokens coming out all the time, new NFTs, new platforms using Ethereum. I love what's going on with Ethereum, but because of that demand and because of the price of Ethereum going up, 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 and everyone wants in, there's so many more transactions that need to get confirmed into the blockchain. And guess what? Those who pay the most have the highest chance of getting processed by a node. And that's just the way that it is and the way that proof of work works. So that's a challenge. So if you're wanting to get into this, let's talk about the first thing you should know. You need to be aware of gas fees. And there's a bunch of ways you can do this. I'm going to share my screen right now. And I want to show you. So this is etherscan.io. I love their platform. Lots of great information on all kinds of tokens and contracts, transactions, all of this stuff in Ethereum. And today what I want to focus on is specifically their gas tracker. So this is etherscan.io/gas tracker. And you can pull this up. And there's a bunch of things that are really good with this. They're showing you, first thing they show you is low, average, and high transaction time. So you can actually put in a lower fee. It may take a long time for it to get transacted. You could put in a high fee, even higher than what you see here, and almost a guarantee that it's going to be transacted really, really quickly. So Ethereum does understand this idea of priority, and it's just like you'd expect. However much you want to pay is what the priority are that you're going to get. Now this GWEI or GWEI, the better way to say that is nano. Think of this as a very small part of Ethereum, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. But this is just a way to subdivide Ethereum into smaller parts. Okay, so just kind of leave it there. And if you want to see what those actually kind of cost us right now, look, Etherscan's done us a huge solid. They're even showing it to us for us that, no US dollar. Look, so an average fee is $21. Like, that's stupid high. We know that's high. That's a huge problem with Ethereum 1 that Ethereum 2 is aiming to solve, is how do we pull down those gas fees that are astronomically high? If you don't believe they're high, let me just show you this, how embarrassing this is for Ethereum. I'm going to type Western Union gas fees and take a look at what we get here. $1.50 for a convenience fee. I thought the whole point of like crypto was to like completely upset a broken market system for financial transactions. Well, yeah. But also keep in mind, ETH is new. I know it's been around for many, many years, but in terms of a technology with hundreds of thousands and millions of users, believe it or not, it still takes time for us to innovate and get mass adoption. So ETH kind of sucks right now. Their prices are really, really high and it's broken. The thing is, though, we all know it's broken. And because we all know it's broken, we are pushing towards a solution that ETH2 is trying to fix. And by the way, ETH has competitors like Cardano or ADA, if you want to go check that one out. Those that are younger cryptos, that are newer, that are gaining market share, and they're specifically trying to attack the weaknesses or the problems that Ethereum has in terms of really high gas fees. So you can see it right now. It's really high. In fact, it's even higher than that. Oftentimes what you'll experience, you may be thinking, well, Wes, this may say $21, but I tried to like do a swap on Uniswap for some token I really want, and it was way higher than $20. I had a friend today show me that, and he was like, why is this thing like over $100? Let me show you why right here. So inside of this gas tracker, they also show you what it costs for other platforms. So if you're doing an ERC transfer, like one token to another, it's even higher than just an Ethereum transaction. If you're doing Uniswap, this one is even higher. Look, Uniswap on average right now is $203 for a swap. That's insane. ETH, you're so broken right now. We know that it's broken. I just have to say it for the newbies that are coming on and they're dumbfounded by a $200 average transaction. No, it's not supposed to be that way, my friends. It is certainly going to come down, but we're going to have a few things happen. One is you're going to have to be patient. Two is we need new adaptations to Ethereum, like Ethereum 2, that are going to account for this. So it's really, really, really high. Same thing with like liquidity pools is what the LP means inside of Uniswap. So they're just showing how these are really, really high. And that's because if you're using something like Uniswap, it's not just the Ethereum fees, it's even the swap fees and the liquidity pool fees to trade from one token to another token. So I just wanted to show that. I wanted you to have some idea of why it's so expensive when you're trying to go through all of this. And so you can check all of this out. You can also look at this right here. And this one's really pretty interesting. Let me stretch my screen out just a little bit. Hopefully you can see that just on the edge here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can even see what's costing the most. Look at this. This is mind-boggling to me. So Uniswap version 2, currently fees 31%, almost 32% of the ecosystem for a grand total of $32,866,708 over the past few hours. Unreal. That's how bad Ethereum is right now, but that's also how high the demand is for the user base to say, I don't care. I will pay those kinds of fees because I want to transact and I have something I want, or I have something I want to sell. That's the reality. I don't know if you guys have seen the Shiba Inu, the SHIB, the SHIB token that's been coming out. Even that one's trending up. Look at that. MetaMask is what a lot of us, yours truly, even use this oftentimes. The fees are really high. And you can actually see the top platforms that are trending that have a ton of transaction fees just because of the movement and the volume that's inside of it. So that brings up another question, which is simply this. Gas fees, are they always this high? Like, that's crazy, crazy high. Well, the answer is no, they're not that high. Right here is from Y charts. There's plenty of places where you can see this. And this is just a gas tracker over time. And you can see kind of right here, we're hitting this almost 250. You see this? And by the way, this correlates over here, 250 on average. We're hitting roughly that 250 gas fee right now on the charts. But you can see if you just kind of follow this line here, notice we had a spike right here on February 23rd. And then we also had some spikes here in like October, and then a big, massive spike over here on June 11th in 2020, almost a year ago. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that ETH gas fees are highly, highly volatile. In fact, if you don't believe me, let's just do like a 5-day look and you can see how this thing has been climbing. Let's do a 3-month look and you can kind of see how it's gone up and down. But whoa, right here, look at this. On May 2nd, just weeks ago, it was at 43 nano. Like, and it compared to like way higher now at almost 250. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that gas fees are very, very volatile. And if you just got to sink your teeth into some token or some NFT or something in Uniswap that you really want, just know you have two options. You're going to pay the high fee, whatever it currently is at market rate, or two, you can go here. Or even better yet, you can go to Etherscan and you can simply wait until those gas fees come down and then make your transaction. And by the way, there are iOS apps, there are Google Play apps that will even notify you when gas fees come down to a certain tolerable threshold for you. So right now in this age, it's just gonna be expensive. I mean, that's the reality of it. But just know that is a way or a mechanism that you can follow to wait until gas fees come lower and then you can make your transaction. So if you're one of those people, you're just blown away at the cost, my friends, that is why. So one thing you can do is share this with your friends if they struggle with wondering why the heck is it so high and can I ever get into this whole crypto thing? Like, how are people spending that much money all the time? Well, they shouldn't be. And if you're patient, you won't have to. But the key is being patient. So what's an alternative? Because ETH, you kind of suck right now, as I said at the beginning of this, and as I said in the thumbnail and title of this video, here is an alternative. Take a look at Binance Coin. This is called BNB. And Binance Coin is really interesting. I've seen a bunch of tokens begin to start using BNB as their main mechanism for like liquidity and swaps. And the reason for that is simply because it's way, way cheaper to swap with Binance Coin than Ethereum. The gas fees are lower, it's faster, it's got a lot of new things in it that Ethereum is struggling and trying to adopt. And so I want to kind of introduce this to you. First thing I want to introduce is this right here. So this is from BitQuery. Now this is beta, so you can expect this to change, but I really like this chart right here. So this is showing gas unit by price by date. And so notice we've actually seen a decline since last year in fees and prices for transactions inside of BNB. You can actually see the average cost. This also kind of follows the exact same trend as you might expect. So way down currently at 521, which is today's date, it's at 0.001 BNB for a transaction. So it's much, much more affordable. Now let me time out for a second. You have to be careful with this, right? So there may be a token or an NFT you really want, and if it only runs on the Ethereum network, you're not going to be able to get it with BNB. You can't transact for it. Some tokens, as an example, I cover FEG a lot, the Feed Every Gorilla. It's a super fun meme token that actually is really, really cool and making a ton of profit right now for holders. That one's an interesting one because it transacts on two different chains with Ethereum and with BNB. So just keep in mind when you're looking at something new that you're interested in, at this time of this video, BNB is way more cost effective. And so if there's a BNB option, you'll notice a lot of people leverage towards that simply because it's much, much, much cheaper on the fees. I mean, who wants to spend, $200 on an ETH transaction when they can get the same token on the BNB chain side that might be a few dollars to make that transaction? And so it's a no-brainer for sure. There's additional data here. This is from BSC Scan. And by the way, I'm going to put links for all of this in the description of the video down below. So just kind of look down there at the end of this and you'll see them all there, I promise. And just look at this right here. Now we had a couple months, you see this right here, of a insanely high nano price for BNB and then another little blip. But when you follow this, notice super, super scaled down, consistent, doesn't have a lot of spikes. And if I may dare say, the transaction fees are even going down. They're decreasing. Now, that doesn't mean that tomorrow they won't begin to increase, but just notice the difference in the volatility or really lack thereof of BNB compared to anything else. So this is why a lot of people love BNB. It's why they're a big fan of it. If you want to look at BNB overall as a coin, so here's coin market cap, and we're looking right here at BNB. Let me get this to where we can see it a little bit better. There we go. So we're trading about 666 bucks. Don't you love that number? Sign of the beast, right? I promise you Binance is okay, though. You can see it's low and high trends. We can actually look here. And by the way, you notice the correlation that I see? all of a sudden ETH prices start to go completely off the rails and completely out of control into hundreds of dollars, especially in Uniswap and others. Roughly around that time, look at this, boom. And right as ETH spikes in price, so does BNB. And there's a lot of reasons for that, right? I think BNB and ETH are going to follow each other very similarly because there's similar things in how they work. But also the utility of BNB has really increased, and its cost of fees being so much lower have caused BNB to go from like, look, low $20, $30, and now spiking super quickly up into the 600 range. So that's why the price of this has gone way, way, way up. So I may have convinced you. The point of this video is not to like pump BNB, right? Like ETH is awesome. It still sucks right now, but it's still awesome. I still love ETH for sure, but I wanted to introduce to you an alternative if you're struggling with all of this. And so as I close, you may be thinking, okay, well, I like that. How do I get my hands on BNB? Well, BNB comes from Binance, the exchange. And so you can, if you have access in the US, Binance US, if you're not in the US, you may be able to just get directly into Binance itself. It can take some time for the KYC process. They're definitely blown up and super busy. So the easiest way is if you already have Binance, just buy through Binance or Binance US. But there are other ways that you can do it as well. So you can click right here under Market. And you can see all the transactional stuff here, all the exchanges that are trading with Binance itself. So here's a way that you can do it. One way that you can buy if you want to, and I can make a video on this later if you want to, but it's pretty simple. If you have Trust Wallet, I've already done a Trust Wallet review. I'll put a link right here, and I'll put a link in the description down below as well so you can check it out. Very, very easy for you to just jump right in through Simplex and purchase BNB directly off like a debit card. Now you're going to pay for that. There's a fee. Last time I looked, it was like 11%. So it's really, the fees are high to buy off a debit card. And you would expect it to be so because there's going to be BNB fees. There's going to be debit card fees like your Visa interchange stuff because you're actually buying from a credit or a debit card, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of fees wrapped up in all of that, but it's still a much cheaper way to acquire BNB if you're trying to go after the direction of getting into a BNB token. So there's a lot of other ways you can buy it. You can Google for it, but my recommendations would be either buy through Binance US if you already have that, or get Trust Wallet and buy from there. There's a lot of other ways you can get your hands on BNB, but those are two quick and easy ways. All right, newbies, I hope this was helpful. I know you've been struggling. I know you've been shocked at the high cost of ETH fees. Just to recap everything we've talked about, remember, gas fees fluctuate. So if they're really high right now and they're too high for you, just be patient. One of the best and smartest things you can do in the crypto market as a whole is don't be so impatient. Don't have this like impetus to just jump into something without thinking. Be patient, be methodical, be slow. You may miss a little bit of a window and jump in a little bit late, but save a bunch on fees. Long run, you're going to be okay. Those little blips and ups and downs really level out over time when things go up much, much, much higher. So BNB is a great way to go. If you want to still stick with ETH, totally understand that. I love ETH too. Just wait for the fees to come lower and you'll have a much better opportunity. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. Leave me some feedback below. Is this a struggle for you? When do you think ETH2 is going to finally fix things? And do you think it'll fix things? Give me some comments down below. And while you're here, you know what I'm going to ask. Would you hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, and definitely the like button? It goes a long way for my channel. It really, really, really does. I'm not just saying that out of memory. Oh, I am. It does go a long way, and it helps my channel so much. All right, guys, take care.